It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
So, and then I got like that extra long receipt from CVS that I like never use, and because like they give it to you and you're like, oh, I could use that, or like
Yeah.
I couldn't use that. I got like
So
little flowers.
that's pretty. I love it.
Thank you. You look nice.
Thanks. So do you.
Thank you.
So what do you do? Like, where are you at now?
Well, I'm back in San Diego, the lovely world of San Diego, downtown San Diego.
Okay.
I mean, where are you at?
Oh, I'm in Indianapolis. It's not nearly
Okay.
as city.
I keep telling people like, oh, Amber's from Chicago, like in Chicago. Sorry
Well,
about
I
that.
go there a lot.
Is Indianapolis close to Chicago?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
Okay. We're just really getting to know each other, so
I know, it's
it's like a
fun
blind
because
date. It's like blind date for podcasters.
yeah, yeah. It's just very I can't think of the word. Genuine. It's a very genuine
Yeah,
hangout.
I was like telling Amber how much I love you and that we found each other because doing podcasts can be I don't know, I've never really done one. I had like one, but like doing it with somebody else,
Yeah, it's way better.
I don't know. I think it's more motivation. I've never really
Yeah.
had one, so I'm
You've
just
never
walking.
What did you say? You've never had what?
I've never had one really before, so
Yeah, it's definitely way more fun when you have somebody else and then like you build on ideas and collaborate and that's fun.
yeah. So I'm gonna sit down now so I can just like chill. I'm just like, I'm a what do you call it? A person who's mobile. You're like in your room, all chilling.
No, I want to be mobile, but it's freezing and raining outside, so
Really?
yeah.
That's so cool. That's fun. I love rain and
Oh, really?
it's like I'm always dressed in like sweaters. Like all my outfits are sweaters.
Yeah, you would fit right in here.
Yeah. Every single outfit I own is like a sweater.
It's funny because I'm always wearing tank tops.
Really? I can
Yeah,
totally
we
trade.
need to switch.
Like every outfit I have is a sweater. I'm like, even when it's like summer, I'm like sweater, sweater, sweater. I love sweaters.
I love tank tops. I like hate being like covered up or restricted. I don't know. I don't know what
Really?
it is. Yeah. But I bet you're like cozy. You like being cozy.
I am, but like, I do. I like being cozy. I miss my puppy right now, and puppy makes me cozy. I love
Hmm.
rainy weather. I love snow. I'm just not a fan of the sun because I get like heat stroke a lot.
So
And
why are you living there then?
well, I just came here. Well, I'm a Californian.
Hmm.
You can tell obviously by my accent, but I just this is just where I came because I had to get sober.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is where my friends landed me, and this is where I am. But and San Diego is an interesting place, and I don't have anything against it. I was in New York recently. Where were
Yeah.
you over the weekend?
Oh, I was at a like women's retreat, which I've never done before, and it was terrifying, but I did it.
What happened there? It sounds fun.
Oh my gosh, it was called Beyond Lucky. I wrote a book called The Lucky Girl Syndrome Guidebook, and so it was kind of a play on that.
You write books?
And yeah,
Oh wow. What kind of books do you write?
um, right. Well, I've written all kinds of books, like animal care guides and breakup books
Oh,
and
breakup books, really?
yeah,
Like how to break up with
um
your boyfriend or girlfriend
like
or
once you've broken up, like how to like move
stay
through
broken
that.
up?
Yeah, pretty
How to break up with them further?
how to
How
further
to
break
not
up.
break up with them? How to keep broken up with them?
Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
How to like continue to break up with them for like for like 5 years, how to string the breakup along,
Yeah.
how to definitely
Yeah.
break up with them. If you were like thinking about breaking up with them, and like how to like definitely break up with them. Like if you thought you
Mhm.
were broken up with them, how to get a restraint, how to get them to have a restraining order against you, that like that kind of breakup. Like you're
Yeah.
definitely going to jail for with like
How to go to jail. That
how to go to
that
jail, how to definitely make them break up with you forever. Like you are
yeah.
definitely broken up, bitch. Like if you were sure, is there a chapter in there for that? Like if you
Mhm,
were
yeah.
unsure, it's like you need that chapter. Where how
It's
do I buy that book for? Like what's the name of this book?
The breakup one is called Breakup Rehab.
Oh my yeah. What's it about? Like let's talk about this one. I need that. I need that
Um,
book.
um, I actually wrote it after I was getting a divorce from my ex. You're representing.
I just want to be able to be like so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That was one of my things I talked about today in my outpatient program. That like one of my character flaws, I interrupt people. So anyway, sorry. Okay.
Hey, same ADHD.
Sorry. And I don't take ADHD medication. So anyways. Okay, if we continued again, let's back up. Uh you had a husband.
So, yeah, so in the process of that divorce, which was probably the most painful thing I've been
Yeah.
through, I wrote that book about what I learned and just I guess it's mostly like how to, be your best self in the midst of that situation and also just like, stop being like obsessed with someone.
Can I get like 6 copies of that book for myself? Get over
So
it.
I have a question. You said something about Corey Feldman. Like, so that's your friend. How do you know
He's
him?
a very good friend of mine. I mean, he's even worried about me. You know, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I know Corey. Think like gratefully, I met Corey in 2008, and he actually I met him. He was one of the first people I met in California when I moved to Los Angeles. Him and his wife were really good friends of mine for a while. I met him at
Mm-hmm.
the 2008 or 2007 um, Fox Reality TV Awards. I was nominated for
Okay.
an award for Best Reality TV Fight. Me and Heather Chadwell. That me and Corey became really, really good friends, and dated
Mm-hmm.
on and off. And I'm just really glad to be and grateful to be a part of their family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Corey took me in to do a lot of things musically, and he took care of Faith, my puppy, and I've known them all
Oh,
for like, 15 plus years. And I'm very, very,
yeah.
very blessed. That's a real person that I actually know. He's not a scam artist. He's helped me do amazing things. But I've also earned those things on my own. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask anything of him. Like any family, Corey has his boundaries, he has his limits. And I never want to like overstep those boundaries with him, and so I try to like give him his space, give him his privacy. I love Corey till the day I die, and if I do things to get in trouble with him, then I gotta like, you know, pay my, respect. But
Yeah.
I love him. He's my family. I am
Okay.
doing things
Yeah. Do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about your weekend?
Are you sure you're done talking about yours? Let's talk more about
Um.
your weekend.
Um. So yeah. So manifestation. Like we've briefly talked about
Let's
that
talk more.
some.
Yeah, let's talk about your weekend.
Um. My lucky girl book is kind of about that, and so the retreat was kind of about that, like thinking, positively and healing and just a lot of like growth and yeah, women supporting each other. So that was pretty cool. Like I broke a board. I saw a baby deer, which I showed
Hey,
you, a fawn.
did you name it?
Yeah, that was
Did you
cute.
name it?
I have two daughters, and their middle names are both fawn, and so I felt like it was a like a symbol. I don't. And I mean, I did a cold plunge. Have you ever heard of that or done that? Because it was
No,
terrifying.
tell me about it.
It's where you get in like 50-degree water with ice in it, and you just like sit there for 3 to 5 minutes. And so like all this stuff comes up. And it was just a lot of like challenging ourselves and building community and just like, creativity, creating art. And it was just, yeah, it was very amazing how everyone came together.
How many women were there?
I believe there were 13.
Okay, so it was kind of small. How did you learn about this?
Yeah. My husband actually puts retreats on, and so he wanted to try to do one for women for the first time. It was the first one. And yeah, it was great.
Okay, where was it?
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not. I want to hear more about your retreats. I'm not. My weekend was like so boring. Like, okay, so I think
Whatever.
manifestation and healing and women getting
Mhm.
together is
Yeah.
is good. Manifestation is good, right?
hmm Yeah, and just like circles, like women's circles, where you all just like you talk about, what you're struggling with, and like kind of help each other, understand, come to new understandings. And it was just we did like breath work. It was all really great and inspiring and beautiful, just the way that the community formed.
Did you
I'm
know?
looking forward to the next
Did you
one.
know any of these women?
I knew 3 of them.
Were there any?
And so
Go ahead. Go ahead.
next time you have to come
Yeah, I would
because
love to
you'll
do.
like
I would love
it.
to do a retreat. Okay, did you find any aliens? Was it in the woods?
Any
Was it in the
aliens?
woods?
Yeah, it was in this gorgeous cabin. I'll show you pictures of
Yes,
it.
I want to see the
And
pictures.
on
Did you
on
have
a
pictures
lake.
of the uh of the plunges?
Oh yeah, I'll show you pictures of it all.
Can we see? Can everyone else see?
Oh yeah, I can show some stuff from it. Like I'll plug it into the
Hey,
podcast.
that guy. Oh, that guy was naked butt. He just showed naked butt. We can't show that.
Are you, are you
Yeah,
serious?
naked butt when he walked. He had really pretty hair, and then he had like naked butt. You didn't see it. I saw it. I was like, hi, because he has pretty curly hair. It's pretty. I like curly hair. And I said hi. He had pretty blue eyes. And then when he walked by, his Botox was exposed.
I
And
see. That's creative.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if I'd call it creative. He was a nice fella, though. I believe he was a nice fella. He kind of looked like
Yeah.
what's his name again? Oh, what was that guy's name? Charles Manson. Look a little bit good. He
Oh,
had a nice butt. He had a nice butt.
oh my.
I thought his butt was nice. Probably did a lot of walking, a lot of squatting. He must have done a lot of squatting because his pants were blown out. His pants were like. He was like, "Hey." Anyways, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, retreats and healing.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah,
great. Yeah, I can put stuff in about it after we edit.
yeah. So, anyways,
Speaking of but I really want to hear, I really want to hear about your weekend
my weekend was
too.
it was really a lot. It was a very emotional weekend. Some of my friends were
hmm
upset. Some of them were like demanding that they knew where I was going, and some of them were like upset when they found out. And like I was like trying to let them know that I was going, where I was going, and and then I was like, you know, letting them know that like it was none of their business. And then some of them I was like, I'm allowed to go. Where some of them it was a very like risque like situation because um
hmm
you know I was going there not like on a whim, but like with the risk that I might lose, like, I stay in a shelter for women
Mhm.
because I don't have like housing right now. I'm still like in a I was in a sober living, and then I was like assaulted, and I was sexually assaulted, and I was like physically assaulted by like the people that were staying there, and it was like crazy. So I had to like,
What?
yeah, so that was like the backstory for this like sober living that I was staying in through the outpatient program that I stay at. And I was like, I'm leaving this situation. I had to get out of it, me and my dog.
Mhm.
So the outpatient program that I stay at, the only thing that they could do was get me into a shelter until I could find permanent housing because they ran out of funding for sober livings. So I was lucky enough to get into this like all women shelter until that happened because they have no more funding for outpatient program. So um so anytime anyone like leaves the shelter, you can't leave like more than 3 days or you'll get kicked out of the shelter, which is fair. So me and Puppy, we're always like really good and we come home every night. Obviously, or bad things can happen to us. We're on the mean streets of San Diego, and a lot of people think that like New York is really bad. I
Mhm.
mean it is. I'm not trying to say that it's not. I personally had a
Yeah, I
nice
mean
time. Chicago's pretty like Chicago can get really wild. I mean,
there's areas everywhere that you
every
just
place has
don't
their
wanna leave.
areas.
Yeah.
Everywhere has its area. I personally felt nice. Anyways, I went to you know New York because there was a premiere. I wasn't necessarily invited, but you're supposed to not go places where you're not invited. But I really wanted to go see this premiere. I had to tell
Yeah.
the shelter that it was a job interview because they won't just like let you just go off and have a good time. I mean, they can, but not necessarily if like the combination of like my outpatient program,
Mhm.
puppy, needed a babysitter, and my friends weren't really so
Mhm.
like keen on like some of them like on letting me just go because they're like, why do you need this babysitter? And like, why do you? There's a lot of questions, especially with my sobriety. They really care about my sobriety,
Yeah.
and so does the
Yeah.
outpatient program. And they know my behavior. They don't want me to just like get disappointed. They don't want me to like relapse. But I kept like having this conversation with like who I thought I was having this conversation with, which was this guy, this celebrity that I really was in love with, that a lot of people know.
Mhm.
And they kept
Yeah.
telling me like, just go like, send me all these Apple Pay cards and you can get on the list. And I was in my just sort of thinking, I just kept thinking that it was a celebrity. And so I did, and I kept like borrowing money from friends and and taking my own paycheck and and people were like, it's not him. And I was like, yes, it is. And people were getting like so pissed off at me. And I was like, I just wanted it to really be that person. And like it turned out it wasn't. And I got scammed, but I went there anyways. And I wasn't on the list even though I like tried to get on the list at the last minute. And I was really safe like getting to New York. And I was like, my name's on the list. And they're like, no, it's not. And I was crying and I was really sad. And like some of the girls at the shelter like gave me like donated an outfit to me and I felt like really pretty and stuff. And it was the Mission Impossible event. It was a red carpet event
Mhm.
and I was so excited and like so happy. And some friends were like, I knew you were doing that and I'm like so mad at you. Like, we're not gonna talk to you again if you like keep acting like this. And we're so glad you finally figured it out. But like you haven't been talking to Tom Cruise. Like Tom Cruise does not know you. Like you need to like correct your behavior and correct your thinking, or like we're not gonna talk to you anymore. Um, please
Mhm.
stop this. Like why would he ask you for money? And like, and I'm just like, you know, I'm glad I like got there because then I was like crying and they're like, if you're, if and all these people um can get in and there's a wristband left over, we'll like think of like, we'll give you one. And so I was
Really?
really upset and sad. And finally, they were like, "Here, just give her a wristband." And I was like, "Thank you." And I was able to like go in. I didn't get to like talk to him, but it was a really nice, event that I was able to like at least get in. And I was like too,
Mhm.
small to like be able to like, see like what was going on. But I'm just really grateful that I got there, and I'm really sad I didn't get to talk to Tom, but I know that like that was my fault. So I have to just learn from my mistakes and try to do better and just let go and just realize that Tom Cruise is not interested in me. So, I did my best and I can't make those mistakes again, and I have to like move on with my life. And, hopefully one day I can like actually really, I did meet him once in 2023, but
I remember
yeah,
that.
I like got a picture of him. He was really nice, but that was about it. And maybe someday I can like be good enough to be work with him, or I don't know. But he's a nice guy. And anyways, that was my weekend, and the shelter was like, do not leave the shelter again. Like we usually don't let people leave their bed like that and go to New York and come back and have their bed. So
Hmm.
we'll make an exception, but you can't ever leave and do that again. If you want, a shelter and you're in need of a bed, you come to Rachel's night shelter, the day center. You stand in line every morning. They open at 7:30, and you stand in line. You say, "Please, I need help," and they say, we do have a bed, or we don't have a bed. And I got there as soon as I could, right off the plane, and they said, we still have your bed available, but if you missed one more night, we would not have had a bed available for you. We would not have kept your bed. And I said, thank you, God. So I'm, and so in the meantime, I'm doing, I'm recovering. I'm not self-harming. I'm doing all those things that I need to do. So never again will I believe that I'm talking to Tom Cruise. Because everyone's like, you don't know Tom
And
Cruise and he doesn't know you. So I'm like,
and so like how did you realize that it wasn't really him?
because everyone is telling me that it's not. So, when I went there and I was like, Tom, I love you, and he was just like, I was like,
Oh.
they're like, did you
Mhm.
talk to him? And I was like, no. And after I, he was done walking the carpet, I just, I wiped my tears and I got my white dress and I took off my, and I just left because, I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't want to like be like, fuck you, or like, you owe me money, or I hate you, or anything, because I don't. I love Tom. I think he's an amazing person. And instead of going to go, smoke weed or get a drink or do something really crazy, be respectful and just know that it's time to catch my plane. And instead of going to the airport and freaking out, I just went and I had a chicken sandwich from Wendy's, and then I was like crying because my stomach hurt because I don't eat meat, and I put cheese,
Oh,
and then my stomach was hurting. I was crying, and then I was like, well, it's better than going and having a drink, you know. That was my weekend. And here I am
when did you get your dog?
tomorrow. And then I was like,
Mm.
I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call kidnapping. And then my friends were like, what are you talking about? No one's kidnapping your dog. And I was like, this is the distorted thinking I have. This is why I have PTSD. They're like, no, no. This is why you need help, honey. I was like, where's the dog? They're like, here she is, a video of her. I'm like, okay,
Okay, so you get her tomorrow.
tomorrow. But they're like,
When did you get back?
Monday.
Mm. Okay.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah.
You wrote the pet book. What's this pet book about?
There's one about bonding with rescue dogs. I have two small dogs and a cat and a cockatiel.
What? Tell me about this cockatiel.
And chickens. I have chickens outside.
Okay. Do the cockatiel and chickens get along? Do
No.
they know that they're
No,
different?
they don't know each other. Actually, I can hear the dog. This is my like faith is to you. This is my
Was that
dog.
a King Spaniel or
Yeah. Her name's Churro.
Churro? How adorable!
Yeah.
Wow, how old is Churro?
She was born on Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
that's adorable.
So she's just over a year.
Oh, she's like
Yes.
super kissy.
Yes, very, very affectionate.
You're like, get out of here, Churro.
Because I have
Is that the ultimate? You just like. So,
my other King Charles is a rescue dog, and so prior to this one, I got her a puppy because she was really, you know, depressed.
you
And
got Churro a puppy.
I got my other dog that's an elder a
Oh,
puppy
okay.
because she was,
Because
yeah. So this is the puppy. Huh?
she was depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the puppy's
Lonely.
name?
It's her,
Oh, Churro.
Churro.
Okay. Oh,
And then the other dog's name is Carrot, which is weird, but
why? Why?
why my daughter named her when she was like 2.
What's your daughter's name?
I have 2 daughters. They're named Colette and Beatrice.
Oh, that's cute. My grandma had
Mhm.
that just reminds me of my grandma. She had a King Charles Cocker Spaniel, and I was not a
Oh,
fan of dogs when I was a kid because I was
aw.
bit by like dogs when I was a kid, so I didn't like them. I was a cat person.
Oh my gosh, same. I was attacked by a dog as a
Yeah,
kid.
and so but my grandma just reminded me. Beatrice reminded me of the name that my grandma had named for her dog, and she called it Buford. So, and I was like, I hate Buford. I was like, and I was like, why did you name him Buford, Grandma? Like, but anyway, so that just reminded me of Beatrice is a cute name, but
It's an old lady name.
no, that's cute.
Buford.
No, but Buford, I was just like, what is up with this Grandma? What Buford? And I just was like, Buford just did not. Well, I don't know. There must be something to like Cocker Spaniels, because Buford was just like, and then she had this cat named Claude. I don't know what Claude's problem was, but he was like evil. What about your so give us some like tips on like what would you do? Those are like rescues.
Oh my gosh. Be very patient.
I was patient. I was like,
Yeah.
Claude.
Oh,
What else?
with
What
Claude?
else?
I think it's hopeless with
Yeah,
Claude.
Claude was hopeless.
think yeah, I think he decided already. Cats are more difficult because they're more like independent, and I feel like I don't know, they're almost like smarter in a different way, like than
Well, they
dogs.
came from the Egyptians, so we know that they're like, well, I don't know. Dogs are pretty smart though too.
They're smart, but they're just like they really want you to be
I'm a
pleased
dog.
almost.
My it's true. And you know,
Is that your spirit animal?
no, I'm my zodiac sign is a dog. And
Oh,
how
okay.
do you
Like
feel
the Chinese zodiac. I am an oxen, which is boring, but
that? Oh, you're strong, and you're like you're steady. Like
stable.
you're
But
keeping our ship steady.
okay,
I'm like
yeah.
all over the place.
That's
Like
good.
dogs have ADD for sure. That's why cats are annoyed by them.
Well,
They're just like, get the fuck away from me, stupid dog. Dogs definitely have
do you
ADD.
so what's your like zodiac
I'm a
sign?
Libra, Scorpio.
Okay.
That's why I'm a mess. I'm passionately
I'm an
insane.
Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about that. What? Tell me.
It's kind of like what you were saying about the dog.
Their ADHD.
I just feel like you're just like, I don't know, like weird, very weird, different than other people, like an alien.
I don't know anything about those people. I don't know anything about. The only signs I know about is mine, because that's what
Oh,
Libras are
yeah.
really selfish and like I don't know.
Mhm.
And then
No.
Scorpios are insane.
Well, Libra is the
They
lover,
are
and they're
they're
like all
passionate
about
and they
balance.
seek stability, but I'm not the one that's gonna give you that because I'm Scorpio and I'm insane. So I need a stable person in my life to help me balance my insanity out. And
Okay.
I'm extraordinarily like, selfish, but I try not to be. So I need somebody who's like stable and who is logical because I'm extraordinarily, uh, emotionally based, insane, an insanely emotionally based psycho. And I need a stable, logically based psycho.
A stable, logically based
I
psycho.
like psycho. Somebody
Okay.
who's stable,
Okay.
who can help me, and who can love me for who I am.
hmm
Anyways, so I don't know when you want to, what else you want to cover and what you want to talk about for, let's say, what you want to go over next week, or what you want me to
Oh,
work.
yeah.
What do you want me to work on for next week? Not giving my money over to
Um,
fake Tom Cruises. Let's see if I can do that.
that's one thing.
What do you got going on next week?
Um, Summer break, like
Oh, your
just
kids?
way more chill.
Your kids are going on summer break already?
Yeah, on Friday.
It's already summer break for your kids. That's crazy.
I know, but it's great because I decided in my crazy ideas that I would help out at both of their schools, and it like taken up all my time, and so I'm looking forward to not doing that.
Good things will happen.
I know that everyone wants to hear more about your story regarding Rock of Love from what I saw on your Instagram, so we can like go over that too.
Yeah, we can just keep going from our, I'm still I'm trying to fight this. I'm a desire to like, my psychiatrist wants me to continuously take medications, and I just don't want to. That's one thing that I feel about,
Um,
and I don't know how other people feel about that and what their experiences are, but I'm trying to take myself
okay.
off of that, and
Can I talk to you about that a little bit? So, you said you were diagnosed as bipolar,
yeah,
right?
I'm bipolar 1, and I just wanted to,
Yeah.
good, I do veganism because it's against it's a moral and it's an ethical also, and also I believe in animal rights, and also it's a
hmm
spiritual and moral and ethical thing, and that's just my choice. Um, is medication something I want to get off of? Yes, I hate taking that shit. Do I have
Okay.
the one thing that I do have like severeness of anxiety and PTSD. Okay, that is something like that, especially PTSD, depression, and mood like irregulations. Like I can work through those things, but the PTSD
Yeah.
and the anxiety is something that's like very, 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 very. And I don't know how others feel about their
Okay.
PTSD and their anxiety and their panic attacks. But when those happen for me, I disassociate, I turn into a child. And I need somebody to give
Yeah.
me a blanket, or something, a hug, a puppy, a love, somebody who like loves me and who just like knows me. Because it gets crazy, and that turns into like I'm gonna jump off a bridge. And I have
Yeah.
suicidal tendencies. The other things,
hmm
those are something that are those are things that I work through every day, like depression and all that stuff. But those can all go hand in hand together. So, anyways, back to where we were last week with our other conversation, so we can keep going back with that. I don't know how you feel and how you Amber, what you do and what but those are.
I think that sounds great. I was just gonna say, I think that, well, my mom has bipolar, and so I think that people that have bipolar sometimes tend to feel better or more normal, and then they don't want to take their medication
Yeah, that's true.
anymore, and then that affects them because they think, oh, I don't need it. Like I feel, okay. So just like maybe don't
Well,
just stop all the time.
I can only speak for myself. So, everyone's different. I know what I want for my life
Yeah.
and I know my goals, and sometimes I don't. Everything changes.
Yeah.
What I do know that I do want right now,
Mhm.
I want to meet with my friend and go see. I'm trying to like listen to some music that she wanted to go to, and
That
I think it's
sounds
dinner
good.
time. I think it's late for you, and I also want to like enjoy my puppy
Yes.
because I love my puppy, and
Great.
I want to let God and some other things like also take over in my world in my life, and see what spiritual things can happen for me. And I was nice having a conversation with you, and I want to see how others want to influence and talk about things, and I want to be sober.
Yeah, just keep thinking about what you want and the good things.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Yes. It's hard, but I try.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we can have this conversation. Hopefully, it was a conversation and not a monologue because I tend to have monologues a lot with people. I,
No, I think it was good.
all right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, yeah, have a good
Okay, you
night.
too. And I hope
And
you enjoy the rain.
everybody else.
I hope you enjoy the rain. If not, then I hope it gets sunny so that you can enjoy the sun.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Bye. So be sure to check out our next episode to find out more about where we've been, where we're going, and just hang out.